Hi everyone, and welcome to the Custom Golf Shop. My name's Scott Spence. I'm one of the PGA pros here, and in this video we're going to talk a little bit about grip and stance, posture. So let's see how we go. Okay, so grip and posture, stance. Basic fundamentals, things that we should all be taught first thing. Ideally before we've even thought about swinging a golf club, but I know that's not how golf works. I know we all want to stand there and hit it as hard as we can, so you know, we'll try and get around that. But look, grip and setup are easily two of the most important things that we can work on in our golf swing, in our game, and something that sometimes gets overlooked. We tend to get caught up in positions in the swing. How we're going to hold on to the club tends to get forgotten about sometimes. Far more important is to make sure that we're not getting outside or chopping. Like for me, that comes from a good setup and a good grip. So that's why we're doing this video today. First of all, let's have a look at the grip. Now, I'm a right-hander, a righty, and so obviously my left hand is going to be on the top of the grip, my glove hand. The most important thing when we're talking about grip is that we do not want to hold on to this thing too tightly. It's very natural for us to squeeze onto a handle because we try to hit it a bit harder, or we nervous about it, or we want to try and control it, or it's a very human thing. Obviously we don't want to go to the other extent. We don't want to hold it too loose, where we have no control over the head whatsoever. Hopefully we don't let go of it. That can happen and has happened, and that's not ideal. So we want to find this happy medium where we have control of the head, we have control of the golf club, but we're not tense, we're not holding on too tightly. Everybody has their own. So, when you find that level of comfort where we're not holding on, too tightly, we're just nice and controlled and relaxed, that's where you want to be. Now, left hand. This is very general, and people will have little tendencies and favourites and behaviours that they use. But most of all, left hand, we don't want it to be too weak. We don't want to be underneath, what we call weak. We also don't want to be on top too much, because that's going to cause the club head to twist one way or the other, open or closed. If I hold this golf club in a neutral position, then I can hold it and the face is pretty square, perpendicular, lined up with where we want it to go. If I grab it and I hold over the golf club a bit, and then I set my hand, move my hand around, set it, and this toe starts to lean over, then I know that I'm closing the face, my grip's too strong. And likewise, if I hold the golf club too much underneath, and then again we move around, we're natural, we want the hands to go back to where they feel is a normal position, and I hold on here, and all of a sudden the face is starting to point up to the sky here. You can see it's open to target, and that's no use whatsoever as tall, so we're going to impart the wrong spin. So we want to hold the golf club with the left thumb just down the right hand side of the centre line. The nice cliche is that when we look down on the ball, that we want to see a couple of knuckles, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some people might have 3, some people might have 1. As I say, it's what suits you best. It's what gets the golf club back to square every single time, hopefully. And really a finger grip. Okay, so we want to sort of hold the golf club, at the top of the fingers, and wrap the hand underneath and on top. You don't want to be too much along the handle. It's very easy that when we set up that we get the handle going diagonally across our hand, and that leads to a fairly poor grip. So let's try and get it along the finger line and then wrapping over. So that's the left hand. And the right hand really is something that we just put on the golf club. for balance. It hopefully doesn't take over the golf swing too much. That's the idea, certainly. So the right hand goes on, and you can baseball the right hand. So by just having the fingers sitting beside each other. You can overlap, which tends to be a favourite for people with larger hands, which is absolutely fine. And then also you can interlock, and that's what I choose to do. I've got smaller hands, and for me, I feel like I get more control. So you see a lot of juniors and ladies using the overlap grip as well. But you know, if Tiger in his prime was using it, then that's good for me too. It's whatever feels most comfortable for you. And the right hand, as I say, just sort of sits on top from this angle. Again, it's in the fingers. And as long as we've got the left hand in a good position, then the right hand's going to hopefully sit fairly comfortable. It just sits on top of your left thumb in the interlock position. You know, and again, we don't want to hold on to it too tightly. So that's really the grip. The right thumb just slightly down the left side for me. I see some people more centered and even underneath sometimes. That's, you know, you don't want to get too much because then you're going to alter the direction of the face at impact, and that's not a good thing. So that's grip. Okay, so now we're going to look at setup. We've got a grip. We're feeling comfortable holding onto the handle, holding onto the golf club, and that's a good thing. Then we're going to stand over the ball. Now, this is something that you can get somebody that's with you at the time, maybe a friend or somebody you're playing golf with, just to check. They don't need to be a golf pro to check it. I think we can all tell when somebody looks like they're standing well over the ball, or you know, if somebody looks a little bit awkward. And I think that's the important thing. So look, when we stand over the ball, I've got 6 iron in my hand here, so we'll talk about 6 iron. Obviously there's slight differences in terms of ball position and maybe width of stance, etc. when we're using driver or even wedge or par. But we'll just use a middle iron here, so it's very general. We want the ball to be sort of just left of centre in my stance. And I want my stance to be sort of, you know, about shoulder width apart. I don't want it to be too wide. It's going to restrict turn. It's going to keep me nice and balanced, but it's going to restrict turn. And also, we don't want it to be too narrow, because as much as I can turn my body and it's wonderful and free, I'm going to fall over, and that's not a good look either. So, shoulder width apart, there, here or there, you know, however wide that is. And ball, instead of being centre, just slightly left of centre, and that's going to allow you to hit onto the ball and touch. Knees, we want to have flexed, and when I say flexed, I don't mean bent. We do see people who, I hear people, you know, bend your knees, and we bend our knees here, and that's too much. So just nice and soft. I like to see the knees almost come forward over the feet, and what that does is it brings our centre of gravity forward, not too far, you don't want to fall, but you know, forward and athletic. And allows us to use our body properly. If we stand too close, then we're going to tend to fall back onto our heels, and that makes, you know, the golf swing a difficult thing to do. Stand up, out of it, etc., lose balance. And also, you don't want to stretch. Obviously, you know, by stretching, the hands and arms move away from where it's natural, and that makes it difficult to hit the golf ball. So, you know, forward in the stance, knees forward. Push that back side out, and that helps to straighten up the spine. It gives you a nice angle in the spine. Alright, and what that should do is then enable us to allow our hands and arms just to hang down, which is excellent. That's where we want to be. So our hands and arms are hanging. I've got my new good grip that I know is strong. Strong in terms of, I know I'm going to be able to repeat the golf swing every single time, and not strong in that I'm going to close it up and hook the golf ball to the left hand side. So good grip and good stance. So, you know, ball left of centre, just feet shoulder width apart, knees forward, bum sort of sticking out. That's helped me straighten my back off, keep it nice and straight but on a nice angle. That's allowing me to let my hands and arms drop down to my shoulders. And yeah, I'm in a good setup now, where hopefully, all going well, I can turn the golf club and hit a pretty good shot. hope that helps everyone. If you have any questions, and comment below here this video. Thanks for watching it. Thanks for clicking on our channel, and I'll see you here soon.